Hey guys, I'm Greg. Welcome to Gregsbeerreviews today. Let's go see what's in the fridge today, guys. Hello everybody, welcome to Gregsbeerreviews. Today I certainly do appreciate you stopping by. Today's beer comes from Lawson's Finest Liquids, and guys, these guys make some really tasty beers. This particular one was sent to me by my beer brother Rico, and this is one of their session beers. That's why it's called Super Session number 8, and it is a 4.8% lawnmower beer, session beer if you will. And these guys do some really tasty stuff. The Sip of Sunshine, which I have one, that I reviewed about 4 years ago, I thought was outstanding, guys. So these guys do some tasty stuff. So a lot of these brewers are producing some of these very low ABV beers to appeal to that crowd. Something if you want to have multiples of and go back to doing what you're doing without being too inebriated, or if you want to drink a 6-pack of them and not be shit-faced, this may be the route to go. But it's almost 5%, so it's a little bit more alcohol than the one we did yesterday at 3.8%. So just a hint more of the alcohol, and this is basically, according to what Rico sent me, an India Session Ale. So an India Pale Ale, it's an India Session Ale. He said he bought it last week, and it was $14 for a sixer of this, which is a little on the pricey side to me for the low ABV beer that it is. And he said it was canned on 7/29 of 19. So pretty fresh. So I know these guys at Lawson's do some really tasty stuff, and this is probably their version for people that want a low ABV version beer to drink. So let's jump over to Untappd and see if they have any additional information. All they're saying is Mosaic hops, which is a very, very tasty hop, guys. I have brewed with that, and I do enjoy that hop. So it is time. So let's get it open and see what we got. I usually find these less than 5% beers kind of thin and watery, and a little lackluster in the hop profile, in the aroma, and in the taste. So maybe this will change my mind. So we shall see. But like I said, I don't buy session beers, but I enjoy reviewing them for you guys when I get them sent to me. So Rico, thanks again, my brother. About a quarter finger of head on that pour. Little bit of cloudiness up here. I can see light through the top and through the bottom, but it's a lot more clear down here. So to the nose we go. Very pleasant hop aroma. The hop basically is off the chain as far as Mosaic hops. Nice piney, citrusy notes. Maybe a slight hint of some grapefruit. It smells outstanding, guys. It really does. It's got a wonderful hop presence to it. For a 4.8%er, I mean, they've crammed a lot of hop aroma into this. And we don't have the IBUs on it. Like I said, depending on hop techniques, it's basically irrelevant. They give us the most important bits of information: the ABV on the can and the date it was put in the can. So, smells awesome. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Rico. Thank you. Very pleasant hop taste to it, guys. The Mosaic hops produce a very tasty aroma, nice smelling aroma, and a tasty hop presence to it. So if you're a big IPA drinker and you want to session something a little less alcohol than most of the IPAs, this may be a good choice. But for $14 for a 6 on a 4.8%. I think that's a little pricey. Just my opinion though, guys. When you can buy 7-8 percenters for $10 for a 6-pack, that seems to me just to be on the pricey side. But they're using quality ingredients, and they've got a lot of hop presence, where a lot of those beers are a little lackluster in those aromas and tastes. So the Mosaic hops are off the chain, basically. Really strong, prominent, and there. It is a little thin and watery to me, and those beers always seem like that to me. Less malt, less body, kind of thin, but a lot of taste in that beer. A lot of hop aroma. So it's right out of the fridge. Let's sip on it and see what we end up with. Alright guys, I'm back. I've been sipping it for a while now. Decent beer. Nothing I would probably pick up for myself, being that low of an ABV beer, but it has a whole lot of hop aroma and taste. Very pleasantly surprised with the amount of hoppiness that I'm getting from this very low ABV beer. If you're looking for something in this style of beer that you could session, this would be a prime example. On the can it says keep cold, enjoy fresh. Well, this beer is a little over 2 weeks old. He's telling me 7/29, and today is the 17th. So just a tad over 2 weeks old, very fresh beer, and it tastes like that. It's got a whole lot of hop presence in it. So I'm pleasantly surprised with the amount of hoppiness that's in it, but it is kind of thin and watery, and that goes along with a low ABV beer, guys, to me. But for a session beer, it has a whole lot of hop. So if you're a hop head and you want something below 5%, this would be a prime candidate to pick up if you can get it in your area. A good pool beer, a good beach beer. So I enjoyed it. Like I said, Lawson's does some really tasty stuff. I have another one from them that Rico sent me that I reviewed about 4 years ago, and I thought it was outstanding, guys. So we're going to re-review that one maybe tomorrow. And see if I'm still as impressed as I was with it then. There's been a whole lot of New England style beers under the bridge since I had that one. So we'll see. And I don't think they're claiming it to be a New England style, even though these guys are up in Vermont. They produce some tasty stuff. So with that being said, let's do the final chug on this one. Very, very prominent, pleasant hop aroma. A lot of these IPAs and India Session Ales have a very subtle hop profile, but they've hopped this one up. It does have a very pleasant Mosaic hop presence to it. It is still very enjoyable for what it is, and it's telling you the ABV on there, and especially the date when it was canned on there. So you got the two most important bits of information, that you know you're not drinking a 7, 8, 9 percenter, and you know how fresh it is. So with that being said, for what it is, guys, I'm between a B plus and an A minus. I'm gonna go ahead and give it the A minus, because they're telling you, they're not leaving the ABV off, so you're not knowing what you're buying. Maybe you're thinking it's a bigger beer than what it is. They're telling you what the ABV is on it, and they're telling you when it was put in the can. So with those two bits of information, and they're telling you right on the front of the can, Super Session 8. It's a session beer, and for a session beer, it's very tasty. It is very, very tasty. And if you say, oh, it's a 9 or a 10 beer, I wouldn't argue with that. If you're into that style of beer and you like drinking it, this is a good one, because it has a whole lot of hop presence, like I've mentioned several times already. So I'm going to go ahead and give it the A minus 90 from me, guys. Over to Beer Advocate, they say 91. We're pretty close there. They say it's outstanding. I wouldn't argue with that. It does have a very tasty hop presence to it. And over to Untappd, they have it at 3.97. That's just 3 digits away, 3 notches away from being in the A category, in my opinion. And you got to average them out. They don't give a 5 on anything. I've never seen a 5 on Untapped. So you got to grade them a little on curve. So maybe a 3.97 is their A- category. So anyway, very tasty. It is a very tasty beer. So glad I got to try this. Like I said, Lawson produces some outstanding beers, guys. So if you can get your hands on it, pick it up, give it a try. You might like it. It might be right up your alley, your cup of tea. So you might be able to have a few more of these than you can a 7 or 8%er and not be too inebriated. So, but it is a little on the pricey side for $14. So with that being said, if you had it, let me know. Till we meet again, let's go see what's in the fridge.